Hi TV buddy! Look at my head. It's like fresh cut grass. So hi, this is the first time you're seeing me on YouTube since my big ordeal. Hi, I miss you guys. Holy crap, a lot of things have happened in the past month. Let's start with what I was doing, which was wearing readers, which I don't need anymore, even though sometimes I feel like they make me feel smart. But so this is what happened. I felt like somewhere in the spring I was at like my peak physical condition. My endurance was really high. I felt really good in a healthy way. I gotten off my meds and my thyroid meds and all this stuff, and I was losing weight, and I just felt like peak condition. My skin was clear and glowing, and everything felt like 100%, or as much as it possibly could. I was eating healthy, all that stuff. But slowly things started to kind of go down, and it may have been the whole vegan thing, because I'm not 100% vegan. I try to talk a big game. I'm really not. I cheat every now and then, and especially this past week I've been cheating a lot. No meat still. I mean, when I cheat, I mainly just step down to like vegetarian. What happened gradually, and this, we still don't know how, but I started to feel crappy. I started to get dark circles under my eyes. I started to get fatigued a lot. My vision was getting blurry, hence why I needed some readers every now and then. And I initially thought it was just the stress of my job, and which is initially why I switched to a little more starch-based vegan diet, because I wanted to feel satiated and fuller without having to eat so much fruit and vegetables all the time. And I still felt hungry, and I still felt tired, and sometimes I got dizzy, so I just naturally assumed it was the diet. Here's the thing. About 3 weeks ago I started having severe migraines, and I called off work because I was just like, look, these are so bad, I can hardly stand, I'm in so much pain. And I've had a migraine maybe once before in my life, because it was constant. It didn't let up. It was a constant migraine for a couple days. And at one point I'd gotten a bath, and after I got out, I came out to my room and I blacked out. And after that, my mom came home and found me lying on the bed, and she called the doctor, and they said, get her in here immediately, and la 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 la. I texted you guys because I was like really scared at that point, because I was on my way to Geisinger, and because at that point they had called the neurosurgeon and said, you need to get her down here now. And I'm like, what the fuck? This is like a big whirlwind, just like that. And within 2 weeks I found that I had a brain tumor, and I'd gotten it out, and I'm on a swift road to recovery. It still hasn't really sunken in, really, because it was so fast. Everything is so fast, and I'm like, I thank you guys and everybody that was just kind enough to send me their thoughts and prayers. I can't even... It blew my mind, really, and everybody's like calling me some kind of miracle child, you know, whatever. And I like to think that being vegan, or, you know, trying to eat as healthy as I possibly can, and trying to get a good exercise routine and everything, and, you know, just trying to be more conscious of my body and listening to my body, I feel like that's helped me a lot. I don't feel like it's sped up the process or anything, because here's some things that I learned about the brain. Let's look at my brain. This is my tumor. I'm so excited. I just came back from a consult, and I asked him to print this out for me. Does it look like me? Tiffy says I look like it. Yeah, this is my third ventricle, and it's very inflamed, and this is my tumor. This is my fourth ventricle. It's very small, but what happens is that your brain and your brain has fluid, and it gets dispersed throughout your body down this ventricle and into your spine. Because this tumor is sitting here, there's no room for the fluid to come down, which is why they drilled a hole in my head and stuck in a catheter so they could drain my fluid. What the tumor is sitting on is this very little gland called the pineal gland. And this pineal gland usually produces melatonin in the body, so it regulates your sleep. This probably explains why my sleep's been off lately. I hardly got any sleep in the hospital, so when I came home I slept a lot. Really slept a lot for a few days. And then now I just feel like completely wired, and I think maybe I've slept 5 or 6 hours the past 2 days, so he's just gonna give me a chance to get it regulated naturally, and if not, I can take some natural melatonin supplements, which I've taken before, not a big deal. But I also found something interesting with the whole spiritual side, is that this pineal gland is also called your third eye, which is supposed to be, you know, one of the chakras aligned, and I don't really do the whole chakra thing, but I think it's interesting. It actually supposed to help, it's supposed to be your creative center and your intuition, which I thought was crazy, because I'm like, oh, I'm trying to sharpen up my intuition, because I know oh my god, I'm sorry, it just hit me, because my tarot reading, he told me I need to listen to my intuition more. And because I kept thinking, I'm so pissed off at my tarot reader for not mentioning the whole tumor thing, but I kept thinking I should ask him about my health, and I didn't ask him. And that's probably why he said I should listen to my intuition more. Because while I was laying there during one of my migraines, I was laying in the dark and I had like cold compresses all over my face, and I kept thinking, this is a tumor. And I didn't want to say it out loud because I'm like, I don't want to jump to conclusions if it's just a freaking headache, but I kept thinking, this is a tumor. This is more than a regular migraine. So, that's insane. Oh my god. Here's something that we found in a Neurosurgery Now magazine. And this is the brain. And the brain actually has 3 membranes on it. And when I originally went into Geisinger, they thought I had meningitis, which is an inflammation of these membranes and the spine. I did not have meningitis. They found that I had hydrocephalus, which is basically something blocking the fluid from going to my spine and being dispersed through my body. Anyway, before, and then here's after when they took it out. So this little thing here, this trail, is where they went up through my head. They basically made an incision back here, and they just kind of separated the brain, because it's not all one whole part. They're different, like the cerebellum and I can't remember all the names of them. Ask a neurosurgeon. But they kind of separated it. So they didn't actually cut into my brain. But what they were able to do now was to almost lasso the tumor and slice it in the middle and basically just like suck it out and pull it out. So it was easy for them to take out, thankfully. Now my third ventricle is not as inflamed, and my fourth ventricle is perfectly good to drain my fluid. I'll show you the back of my head. I got my stitches out today. It's a little itchy. And they kept saying, oh, you didn't have to cut your hair. Your hair would have covered it. I'm like, no. They made like a chunk this big in the back of my head where they shaved my head. And then they had 2 little spots in the back up here. And then they had a patch like this shaved. I think I needed to shave my fucking head. Bumps and bruises from like the pin sites where they actually stuck needles into my skull to keep my head from moving during surgery. So they'll go down eventually, but I'm on a really good road to recovery. It's been a little over a week, and I mean, they were really floored when I told them that I went to a rockabilly concert last night, because they were like, what? You just got out of surgery like a week ago. And I'm like, yeah, but I wouldn't have missed this concert. It was awesome. I was feeling pretty good about myself before the consults. Unfortunately, I'm not really out of the woods yet. They are going to do several MRIs over the next year. Hopefully try to stagger them, and so I'm not there all the time, but probably in the next month I'm going to be doing 1 or 2 MRIs, because they want to see if anything slipped down or if anything left over from what was here is in my spine. Because it's an intermediate tumor, cytoma, they said. It was benign, however. Nothing cancerous, thank God, but there's a possibility that it could grow into something else, and the fact that it's really rare, apparently. They said that something like this, in somebody my age, in my age group, normally in my age group, or in young children, but something like this is like 10 to 20 cases a year-ish, if at all, in the US. So they said it's pretty rare, but they want to make sure nothing else can come back. They want to make sure there's nothing else along the spine. If there is, I may have to undergo radiation, and then they got in. I really don't want to do radiation. They also talked about survival rate a lot during the consult, and I'm like, are you trying to freak me out? Because you are. But I just wanted to say thank you, and I love you, because I feel pretty damn great today, considering all the shit I've been through, and it's going to be a long, bumpy road. Thank you guys so much. I love you, and I will talk to you guys soon. Okay, bye.